I wanted to share with you all a good friend and family member of mine. Her name's Melanie Grune. She lives in Duluth, Minnesota, and is doing get out the vote calling for the Harris-Biden campaign, and I bet she's also pitching for Smith there. Melanie's been in Duluth a long time. She's actually a native of California from the West. She's been a small business owner, she's a development specialist, and all along the way she's been a homemaker as well. So how are you doing today, Melanie?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Alan. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. So we were talking earlier today because I'm going to try to do a little get out the vote calling too, and I don't like it very much, but I heard you were doing it, so I was just wondering how it was going for you. Do you like calling people?
It's one of those things that when you do the training to be a caller, they said that it actually, even though all the times I've done it, it's silly. Does this really work? But they said it makes a 3.8% difference in the vote. And when you understand in 2016, Hillary Clinton won Minnesota, beat Trump in Minnesota by 1 percentage point, then all of a sudden 3.8% is a huge difference. So we think of all of those states that barely went to Trump, that this could be a difference. And so that's what motivates me to do the calling.
Good. Is it and that's really helpful to know. I wasn't aware that Minnesota was actually that close. So now I know why we've been assigned Minnesota.
Yeah, and this is something else that you should know about Minnesota. These are not things I'm proud of, but it's information that I will share, is in 2018, I understand there were 3 congressional districts in the entire country that shifted from being blue to being red. And 2 of them were in Minnesota, including the district that we live in. So, yes, Minnesota has been a bastion for liberal democratic politics, but it has been trending more and more red. And so, yes, that is why Minnesota is being targeted. The Republicans have started targeting it really hard. It was a state that Trump assumed he could win this year. We're hoping that that's actually looking less and less likely, but it is definitely a state that the Republicans are targeting.
Okay. All right, I get it. So you've been doing some calling. I mean, isn't that kind of demoralizing? I mean, don't you get hung up a lot, and you're probably dealing with these swinging right people, right? We don't know exactly who we're calling when we call them.
Exactly, and what it was helpful when the DNC started letting out the information. There's a chat that goes on in Slack that you can read, and it was really helpful to me to read that what these first rounds of calls are for are to weed out people. So it's actually culling the list. So in Minnesota, we don't declare a party when we register. In fact, you get a ballot, and the ballot for a primary has both parties or all 4 parties or however many they are on the ballot, and you just have to vote down a single column. That's how it is in Minnesota. You don't declare a party. So when they're calling this first round, people that are hanging up, that's information. That means those are people who are not going to talk to somebody, and then maybe next time they won't get called back. Or people who say they're supporting Trump or supporting a third party. That's all information they're looking for. So that's helpful. So it makes it not feel as demoralizing when people hang up on you constantly, because it's giving information to the people in charge to say what numbers are worth calling again closer to make sure that people get out and vote.
Wow. All right. So even these kind of dead end calls are still useful information. That's really helpful. That'll keep me going. So did you connect with anybody?
Yeah, I have to say, last weekend, it was on Saturday night, and I thought, okay, one more call. I'll do one more call. And I called someone in Minnesota, don't know where he lived, and his name was John, And I said, John, will you be supporting Biden and Harris and Democrats down the ticket? And what he said was, I would rather vote for the devil. And I thought, uh-oh, where is this call going? Because you got to understand, like we talked about before, there's people in Minnesota that think that Biden is the devil. And then I was like, excuse me? And he said, I am 84 years old. I have been a registered Republican my entire life. I have never voted for a Democrat ever. This year, I would rather vote for the devil than vote for Donald Trump. I am voting for Joe Biden. That
is great news.
Yes.
Hey,
and,
if the horns fit, right? You know, if the horns fit.
Exactly. And he said to me, he said, I bet you're going to find a lot of people like me. And I said, do you have other friends who feel the same way? And he said, I have a lot of friends that feel the same way. And so I got a chance to just converse with him. And there's something I love talking to, and there haven't been that many that I've met, but talking to Republicans who are voting for Biden this year, and to feel this camaraderie and realizing that I may never again be on the same team as them. And I even said to him, you know, I said, well, we may never have you again, but I'm glad we have you this year. And what he said to me was, I do not love Joe Biden. I would have voted for Romney if they had nominated him. I don't love Joe Biden, but he has 4 years to win me over. And if he does, in 4 years, I will vote for him again.
Wow. That's great. Well, you know, that's what democracy is about, right? I mean, you know,
yes,
it's,
and willingness
it's a contest,
to listen.
And you always get a chance.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why, you know, I would just say to anyone is those people are out there. We just have to find them. And part of what the reason for calling is, you know, I asked him, do you have a plan to vote? Yes. He had already requested his mail ballot. So he was all set. You know, and it's just making sure that those people have a chance to vote.
Well, that's great. Well, Melanie, I'd love to talk more about this, but I got to go because I got to make some calls.
Okay. Well, thank
right.
you. Nice to talk to you, Ellen. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.